Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. And today, my amazing guest and friend Joe Bohringer is on, and it's going to be good. So get out there, share this. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, the Hounds of Business Community, Haugen's Gallery, Short Stops Burgers, Shakes and Fries, and Suzanne Bodlovic and State Farm Insurance. For more information on Hounds of Business Community and Mr. Mike Asherbrenner, you can go to Hounds of Business Community on LinkedIn or Mike Asherbrenner on LinkedIn. For more information on Haugen's Gallery and their amazing personal branding photography, go to haugensgallery.com. And for more information on Short Stops Hamburger Shakes and Fries and their amazing food, go to southpawspizza.com, and Short Stops is in Albany, Oregon. And finally, for Suzanne Bodlovic and State Farm Insurance, you can get all your insurance needs met, and all you have to do is go to insurancewithsuzanne.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Hey, grooving to the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. And I am so thankful you're here today. You know what? It's Monday, and no matter what time it is where you are, so grateful that you're tuning in. Whether you're watching this live or on replay, maybe it's a different day and you're watching on replay. Thank you. Thank you for being part of our community. You know, every week, Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie, goes live at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. But then it sits on the platforms that it broadcasts on: LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So LinkedIn and YouTube are forever, Facebook for 30 days. You can go back and watch those video podcasts forever on two of those platforms. And if you missed that, wait, there's more. You can listen on iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon because it converts to audio podcasts. And we would love for you to listen if you don't have time to watch, and appreciate you being here. We are so thankful today for all of our amazing sponsors. I just want to thank Hounds of Business, Haugen's, Short Stops, and State Farm again today. What a blessing the sponsors are that allow us to continue to broadcast to you. Continue to broadcast amazing people who connect, which this show is all about. That's right. If you missed that, how amazing people connect is what we're always talking about, because I am a firm believer that in marketing, that connection and community building is the foundation for any good marketing plan, any good business. That's right. So thankful to all of our sponsors today. What a blessing they are. And also want to remind you, we are listener supported. So if you want to go to the QR code or the link in the comments, we would love for you to join in and be part of our community and help us broadcast. So thank you for that. And it is just an amazing day here today. I'm so thankful. Mondays are like my awesome day because it's the beginning of the week. And, you know, I've been feeling better in the mornings. I have lots of energy. That wanes off as the morning goes on, but thankful for the energy I do have, and I'm blessed. God blesses me every day with the opportunity for to be with all of you, my friends, and to have amazing guests like Joe today. So thankful he's here. We're going to talk more about him in just a minute, and I want to make sure you connect with him. He's an amazing guy. But I want to remind you that I love to connect. You go to russedge.com. That's how you find out everything about me, and that is also how you connect with me, whether it's social media, email, phone number, or you can schedule time directly on my calendar to Zoom with me. I'd love to have you do that. Please also subscribe to our YouTube page. It is growing, it's booming. We're getting more people in that community all the time. I'd love for you to be part of that. I am continuing to find out that my animals are way more popular than I am on YouTube Shorts. So if you want to have a little fun and see my cute beagle and cat, they are on YouTube Shorts. Just a little fun thing. But just so thankful for that. All you got to do is go to marketingwithruss.live. That's how you get to my YouTube page. Type in marketingwithruss.live. You can right now open a separate tab, type that in, and subscribe if you have not. So I keep it real simple, right? If you know my name, you know how to get to my website. If you know the name of this show, you know how to get to my YouTube page. Woohoo! Piece of cake. Easy, right? There you go. Also, would love to have you share this. Tag your friends. Let people know because we are all busy and people forget all the great things that are on, all the amazing content that this show puts out with amazing people like Joe. And you do not want to miss that. So please tag your friends and share. Also, behind me, Live the Life You Choose, my first book, along with my 4 collaborative books, international bestsellers, #1 on Amazon, are all available. It's going to shock you at russhedge.com. That's right. But also, you go to Amazon or any online bookseller as well if that's more comfortable for you. And love to have you buy a copy of those. And guess what? My new book is coming out this fall. Gonna have it done. I'm working on it right now and making really good progress. And got put off last couple of years because of my health challenges, but it is going to happen. And so this year, so look forward to that. That is going to be my book, follow up to Live the Life You Choose. Life happens and then you choose. There you go. All right. So last but not least, every Monday and Thursday, we do our marketing tip of the day. I love this because it gets cut out, put out separately on YouTube Shorts and all the social media. So you can share just the marketing tip of the day. Somebody needs some encouragement or some inspiration or just a little kick start to their day or week. That is what this is all about, the marketing tip of the day. So are you ready? All right. Here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Choose to have a good day. That's right. Choose to have a good day. Every day, this is in front of me on my desk. Today is a good day to have a good day. And you know what? It is so true because I get to choose if I want to focus on the good things throughout the day. Now, trust me, I understand. There's days that have a lot of garbage and a lot of things that are not super happy. But you know what? Through it all, there's always bits of good. Sometimes it's just learning lessons, becoming stronger, having the wonderful people around you care for you and bless you. There's so many good things that come even out of bad situations. I'm a firm believer that God works all things for the good. I believe that. So today, focus on the good things in your day. That will help you and propel you to more good things. It's a true fact that your brain rewires itself for what you're looking for. You have a reticular activator right here. You go in and you buy a blue Ford, and next thing you know, a blue Ford Mustang, the next thing you know, you find blue Ford Mustangs everywhere because your brain is looking for those. Rewire it with good things, look for the good, and today choose to have a good day. That's your marketing tip of the day. Thanks, everybody. All right, there we go. We got the marketing tip done, and I love this little sign. I tell you, every day, we all need reminders. And I am an upbeat, positive guy, but I have reminders all over in front of me to remind me to think of positive things. So, all right, we're going to get Joe in the room. He's ready to go. Here he comes, Mr. Joe Bohringer. How's it going, Joe?
Morning, Russ. How are you today?
I am doing good. Thank you. I am feeling blessed and moving in a positive direction, and that is a good thing.
Good. Well, I appreciate the invite and look forward to hopefully giving your listeners something worth hearing today.
Well, you were amazing last time. You and I have had a few amazing conversations, and that is why we had to have a follow-up conversation because there was just too much to pack into a half an hour. And so love that. And I know that you've been having crazy weather there in Chicago, but spring is coming. Spring is coming. So we're looking forward to that.
That's what they tell me. They're still holding out, but it's supposed to be right around the corner. We'll see.
There you go. There you go. Well, listen, I want you to let's just start from the beginning. Remind everybody who in the world is Joe and what are you up to?
Sure. Well, first of all, I again appreciate the invite. My backstory. I spent 3 decades as a scout and front office executive in Major League Baseball. Like many people, had the moment, COVID 2020. What did I want to do? I was part of in the bubble, spitting in a tube every 48 hours, hoping that I tested negative. It was the first time in 31 seasons that the grind of the job kind of outweighed the joy of the game. So I was very fortunate to have the luxury of deciding what I wanted to do, and had a couple years left on my contract, but decided to walk away. It was time to find my next phase, and I was very fortunate when I stopped. I kept getting phone calls. How would you do this? How would you do that? It led to some consulting opportunities with professional sports teams, National Hockey League, NBA G League. Also, I've done some work with the new Professional Women's Hockey League. That's was started by a minority owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, along with Billie Jean King, the former tennis icon Billie Jean King. And through that, one of the things was I also was recruited by an executive coaching firm, which was an interesting outreach. They had kind of made the pitch that high performers were high performers regardless of environment, and that business executives were trying to be high performers with their minds or their execution, where athletes might have been trying to be high performers with their bodies. But at the same time, a lot of the core belief systems, values, work ethic, discipline, methods that you go about translated really well. I was mildly surprised that was the case, but it is the case. And I've had the opportunity to work with some industries and some executives across firms, debt tech, ag tech, a couple of startups, some more traditional industries. And again, I've really enjoyed the chance. I was spent so much of my career helping players and scouts and executives try and take the next level, at least in the Major League Baseball world. And now really feeling like I'm in a good spot in being able to help people and trying to do that with people in other environments. And again, the universal quality of the things you need to do to get yourself to that next level have translated very, very well. And I've really enjoyed the opportunity at this stage of my career.
Well, and I think it's so awesome because it gives you a chance to work on your terms, right? And that I think is a real plus, especially with a family and with all that you've got. I mean, a lot of times nowadays people dive in to things, I think, and this is probably a really good lesson for people, and that is they dive into things that they think they have to do. My beautiful wife reminds me every time I tell her I have something I have to do, she goes, no, actually, that you're choosing to do that. And it's true. We choose where we go and what we do. And I think that the choices you made, because you have so many talents and you have such a passion for what you do for excellence, and you're just like drawing people to you instead of having to do what they say you have to do. So I think that's just a huge plus. So let's go back to talk a little bit about that whole idea, because I agree that there's universal truths and universal principles that work throughout all business and sports and industry that really helps people reach that top performer status without killing themselves in the meantime. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. And I was really fortunate in that Major League Baseball and professional sports in general, it's inherent in the environment. At each level of achievement, or each level of minor league to major league, or college to pro, there's a standard attached to that. And the standards never lower themselves to our level of performance. We have to raise our performance to the level of the standard. And I found that does apply in the business world as well. And I think sometimes people, when you can help them frame it and help them work through it, they know what standards apply. Business people know, what do you need to do to go from a director to a VP level, or what do you need to do to get your company to the next level of scale? And they do have at least a framework of what it's going to take to achieve that next level. And then it's working backwards to help them put their plan in place. And again, like just as we did with individual players, is what skills they might have needed to work on to be able to reach and then sustain themselves at that level. It's been very, very similar again with executives. And I think a lot of that work, it's always about building. It's always about moving forward. It's always about asking yourself, what are the standards that I need to reach at that level? And then working backwards to create a plan that allows you to meet those standards. And we know that growth happens when we push ourselves, and that happens both on the field and in the boardroom. And again, it's something that I believe is translated easily. Whereas pro sports it is kind of inherent in the environment. In a lot of business environments, you have to actually make it your environment on your own to try and get to that next level. But again, the core techniques and the core frameworks that you might use are very, very similar. And then it's just customizing it to the person involved to help them position themselves as strongly as they can to reach their next outcome.
So, and I love that, Joe. Customizing it it's not a cookie cutter thing. There's some truths and principles that are good for everybody, but the way it works for everybody is different. It kind of reminds me of going through my cancer journey. People come to me all the time and say, "This is the miracle drug. You take this, and this works for everybody." Well, nothing works for everybody. It doesn't. Not every body is the same. Not every system is the same. Just like not every brain and every personality is the same, right? So
Right.
for somebody like me that's crazy and outgoing, certain things might work really well. Somebody who's more introverted and not that way is going to say, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that." That is not going to happen.
And as you described it, there are the universal qualities, and as people go through and try to make that journey, and for anyone, it's awareness. Creating awareness around what you're trying to do. What are the action steps that you need to take to make that happen, and then how do you hold yourself accountable, or hold your team accountable, or hold your company accountable? So that idea that awareness, action, accountability, that has a universal quality to it. The other part that we sometimes will do in talking with people is, again, you have an idea already of what you need to do to get there. And sometimes we'll talk in terms of keep, start, and stop. What are some things you're already good at? And this is where the customization comes into. What are some things you're already good at and you're already passionate about that you do now that you will need to keep doing at the next level? And those become a framework. You never want to lose those traits, because that's what your success has always been built around previously. And then,
So,
well, when I get to this next level, what do I need? What's something I need to start doing? What's something I need to add to my game that I didn't have before? And then likewise, coming back, what's something you probably need to stop doing? Something that you need to get out of your game because you're going to have new responsibilities. And oftentimes we can take that stop and change it to a start. And if we can make it, it's always easier to start a new habit than to stop one cold turkey. And something as simple as, well, I need to stop fixing things. Okay, well, how can you? Well, I need to start delegating. Okay, well, then let's make the plan about being a better delegator, or how do you delegate appropriately? And so, again, just asking the right questions and helping people come up with their framework. That keep, stop, start idea. Every single person's going to have a different set of behaviors that they might want to work on, but those behaviors then in turn can be customized to them to make sure that, again, it's about positioning yourself or your company or your partner or your coworker to try and put them in a position to achieve their next level of success, whatever that looks like. It's your definition.
well, yeah, and one thing I think is so true is that all of this happens one step at a time. You talk about each level. We don't have to do everything at one time. But I think one thing that really helps us, you've been involved in so many major league sports, starting with baseball. When you get around an environment where everybody is trying to lift their level, they're trying to achieve greatness, it's going to make you want to lift your level of success and achieve greatness because it's the people that you're around in the environment. Don't you find that to be true?
100%. It is about, and no one makes the journey alone. You sometimes hear, I believe this statement, something like, you can go faster by yourself, but you go further together.
Right.
And whether even if it's a mentor or a sounding board or someone that you share your journey with, that's been at a professional level, we all have those people that we talk to. And even if you're trying to just not worry, but just if you're trying to work on your particular path of advancement, there's always other people that are involved in that. Your support group, your network, your sounding boards, the mentors, the people that you rely on to help you make that journey. And it is about making sure that you have the right people around you or the right resources. And you mentioned earlier, you have a choice. I'm going to choose to try to surround myself with things. If I'm trying to build, I want to choose to surround myself with things that actually have a building component to it, whether those be the resources that I use, the techniques that I try, or the people that I associate with.
Yeah, no, I totally agree 100%. And I think that when you get around the right people too, the resources start to become self-evident because you get around people and we are better together. Like you said, we can go much further together. Trying to go it alone is not a good way because it's just like with raising children. I learned it was better to let my children do things on their own and learn from the process and do everything for them, right? We all need to learn and grow. And sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes we have bumps and bruises along the way, but those bumps and bruises and those challenges help us, don't they, Joe?
Yeah, they do. And some of it just starts with the mindset of being open to getting the feedback. And the one thing, again, about pro sports, the feedback is brutally honest. Our KPI is a scoreboard. We either won or we lost that day, every day. So the feedback loops are intense. And in a lot of environments, it might be a quarter or a year. So it's a longer feedback loop and there's more places to hide. And so, your individual motivations and your individual convictions, your passions become a bigger part of how you make that journey. And so finding the things that you can keep your energy involved and keep your motivation involved to continue making that journey. You want it to benefit yourself and also benefit others. But again, how you surround yourself with those ideas of keeping that, and you said again, choosing to have that positive mindset that you're making a positive journey. That's a big part of the battle, is how you can stay focused on that.
Yeah, totally. And also, you brought up accountability. I think that's so important because it is not easy for us to do it alone without somebody saying, hey, checking in and helping us stay accountable, right? It's good to have good people around you. My good friend and co host, who you met when you were on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, is currently one of my accountability partners on my book that I'm writing. So, my new book coming out, he and my wonderful teammate, Ever, are both keeping an eye on me and making sure I'm actually doing what I said I was going to do. That drives me because when I tell somebody I'm going to do something, it gives me a lot of of drive when I get that support for somebody asking me, "How's it going? What are you doing?" And every now and then, maybe you're even a little irritated. What do you mean? I'm working on it, but then you start thinking, "No, you're not working on it to the level that you should be," and that's
Right.
why they're asking you, right? And so that is a big thing on raising your level. Why they need coaches and people that consult like you, right?
Yeah, I think that's great. That's fair. And I think the book is a great example. No one's going to write the book for you. Although as a resources, you can go out and get a ghostwriter if you'd like to. Again, you have choices as to how you want to approach it. And, the way I've always tried to frame it, and I know anyone that's a fan of baseball would be familiar, you work your way up the minor league ladder, A ball to double A to triple A to the major leagues. And it's like that in any arena, any competitive business environment. You go from, entry level to to assistant director to senior director to VP. You're always making that journey. And when we get on any one of those ladders, the book writing ladder, the executive journey ladder, whatever it is, we have the ability to climb as high as we're capable of climbing on the ladder. But in any competitive environment, no one's going to reach down and drag us up the ladder. We have to do the work. No one's going to write your book for you. You have to write it. And having an accountability partner, having resources, knowing what tools you have available to get to that goal is half the battle. And I do think in a lot, and you had mentioned it earlier, it does have to be something that's a joint agreed upon relationship. At least from a coaching or an executive development standpoint, a lot of companies they try to put coaches with their problem children that they think need to be fixed because they're checking a box before before letting them go. And for me, I've really tried to make sure that there's always an initial call or an initial conversation to make sure I might not be the right person to help them make the journey that they want to make. That's okay. I've made referrals to other people who might be a better fit. And the reality of it is the beauty of doing it kind of independently is I get to choose the clients or the executives that I work with just as much as they get to choose me. And when you have that joint relationship and you get it the right way, you usually end up having a win-win outcome. And it's very fulfilling for me. I've worked with players a long time and scouts and young executives in one environment to help them make their journey, and making a shared journey is a very fulfilling task if you get, or very fulfilling action if you can pull it off, and having a chance now to do that with other people that are looking to try and make that journey. There's a similarity there, and a common journey there that I just find enjoyable at this stage of my career.
Right. And I think everybody is looking for that fulfillment and that, feeling good about what they're doing. And I think that when you have definitely found that in what you're doing now, because you've loved what you've done all the way along, but now you've tailored it more for what you're doing. And that's a good lesson for everybody. Take a look at what you're passionate about and what you really have purpose and drive to do, but then do it your way, right? Do it a way that works good for you, your family, your life, whatever. I just think that is so good. So, all right. Well, listen, I'm sorry, Joe, we're already winding up. And if you can give everybody your basically gold nugget of the day, what you want them to remember from today, and remind them how to get in touch with you, and I'll leave it up to you. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Well, first of all, again, I appreciate the invite. I think I'll go back to something I said earlier. If you are looking to improve yourself in any area, there's always a standard that you have to reach to attain that next level. And right now you're performing at whatever your level is. If your current level, if you're trying to achieve a higher level of performance, you're going to have to meet those standards. The standards will never lower themselves to come down where you are. You have to raise yourself. And there's a way to do that. Most times we already have some things that we are very good at and passionate about that we can rely on to help ourselves get to that level, and not getting discouraged, finding the right resources, and really understanding what you want to do and where you want to go, and then working backwards as to how is the best way to get there. And unfortunately, nothing in life is guaranteed, but I can guarantee that if you go about it the right way, and if you take the right approach, you're going to maximize at least your chances of attaining that level. And you'll get that sense of fulfillment when you're able to pull that off, or to make the journey. And I've seen so many people do it. And once you do it, it's very fulfilling, both for the person who makes the journey, but also for anyone who helps them along the way and who supported them along the way. It is a shared venture, and it does end up being a win-win. So I guess that would be the nugget is, hey, if you're looking for that next level, whatever it is, you have to make the commitment to raise your performance, but there's always a way to do it if you work backwards to making sure that you're leaning on the things that have made you successful in the first place.
That's right. And people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm available on LinkedIn. I also have a website for my executive coaching services or facilitating services. I've done individuals, I do teams. That's jbexecutivecoach.com. All one word, 2 initials, jbexecutivecoach.com. I know obviously you put it in the chat as well. And other than that, again, I really appreciate one, the invitation to speak. And then 2, I appreciate the viewers and the listeners who hung in there for the conversation. And I hope at the end of it that they got something out of it. And again, really enjoyed the opportunity, both from you and the listeners, to just kind of tell my story a little bit today. So thank you again.
Well, thank you, Joe. And I truly love all that you're doing. And you're helping people in amazing ways. But I love how you're showing people that there are some universal things that can help everybody along the way, whether you're in business or sports, whatever you're doing today. Don't get stuck thinking that it's only for one industry or one thing, because there are things that can make us all better. And I love what you talked about, raising your level, being accountable to somebody, and really, really taking the time to find out where your passion and purpose is driving you. And I just love that. And I'm so appreciative that you were willing to come back on today. And yeah, it's a blessing, Joe. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I hope you have a great day, great rest of the day, great rest of the week. And I wish the same to the viewers and listeners. Really appreciate you all taking the time.
You bet. I'm going to say goodbye, but hang tight for just 1 second in the green room. I'll be right there. And thanks so much. Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Wow. He's an amazing individual and so blessed. You know, having worked with the Seattle Mariners, and that's right close. That's really our professional baseball team here based out of Oregon, because we don't have one here in Oregon. And so it's so great to, be a fan of the team that he worked with. And he's doing so many amazing things. He really is. And so today, remember, like Catherine says, it is your choice. Get out there, make sure that you're doing great things. And I tell you, it's going to be a great week if you choose to make it that way. Today's a great day to have a great day. So get out there, make it great. Don't forget, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. And we will be back Thursday. So join us then. And until then, have an amazing week. And we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye, everybody. See ya.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.